So guys, till now we have discussed about the cathode ray experiment, specific charge. Now let's discuss about anode rays. Now guys, after the discovery of the cathode rays, anode rays were discovered by Eugen Goldstein. Now what did he observe in the cathode ray tube? Now he observed that in the cathode ray tube, from cathode to anode, cathode rays are traveling. Now here what we have done, we have taken cathode on the right hand side and anode on the left hand side. Cathode is negative obviously and anode is positive, and he observed that cathode rays are moving, that means electrons are moving from cathode to anode, and there are some other particles which were moving towards cathode. And what he did, he took one perforated cathode through which those particles passed and they gave fluorescence on striking the zinc sulfide screen, that is fluorescent screen. It means that there are some particles apart from these cathode ray particles, and those particles were named as anode rays. Now let's talk about the properties of anode rays. The properties of anode rays, the first property of the anode rays is anode ray travel in a straight line. As we discussed in the case of the cathode rays, that cathode rays can also travel in the straight line. If some obstruction is there in the path of cathode ray, it will cast shadow. In the same way, anode rays also cast shadow. So they travel in the straight line. Anode ray consists of the material particles. Now if they are consist of the material particles, it means that if they strike something, they will transfer the momentum. And as we did for the cathode rays, the experiment of the paddle wheel, cathode rays struck on the paddle wheel and paddle wheel was moving. In the same way, if anode rays strike on the paddle wheel started moving. So that was the confirmation that they are consist of the material particles. Anode rays are deflected by electric field. Obviously, why? Because they are having the positive charge and they will be deflected towards the negatively charged plate. It was just opposite of the cathode rays. Now, when a magnetic field is applied in the direction perpendicular to the path of the anode rays, they get deflected in that direction where the positive particle were expected to move. It means that there are some positive particles present in the anode rays. It was just opposite to the cathode rays. Now the next property is the charge to the mass ratio, that is the specific charge, that is E by m of the particles of the anode rays depends on the nature of the gas taken in the discharge tube. Let me explain this thing to you. We have done this thing in the cathode rays also. So we will do this once more. So oxygen will give O2 plus electron. Now, if we take the case of nitrogen, N2, it will give N2 plus electron. Now we discussed earlier also, they both are electrons. The charge of the electrons will be same, that is minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. The mass of the electron will be same, that is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kgs. Therefore, E by m for this will be same, and these electrons will compose the cathode rays. But these are the particles of anode rays. If we find the E by m value, means charge by mass value, their charges are same. Charge on oxygen ion is plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Nitrogen positive, it is plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, but their masses are different. So when we will find out charge by mass ratio, they will definitely differ in that case. So therefore, charge by mass ratio will depend on the nature of the gas, means which gas we have taken in that particular discharge tube, right? So guys, these were the properties of anode rays, and one more thing I want to tell you, these properties led to the discovery of proton.